I didn't realize the camera went off. In the meantime, I turned the fan on because I was soldering. And that was definitely a bit of a trick, but it looks like I got it. So what I'm going to do here is grab a little electrical tape, loop that in between the contacts, and then there is a piece of heat shrink already on the wire. Oh, this is really thin stuff. So once I've taped this off, I'll just pull the heat shrink over and seal this up. Of course, testing first to make sure that the light still works. Go. Put that around there. This one around the other one. So the lights are in fact still working. Bring this up here, just about nice and square over the actual connector. Let's work with that. Bring that right up to the edge. Good. Lighter works in a pinch if you don't have a heat gun or you don't want to break it out. I would worry about heating other stuff though and melting it. It's definitely hot. I do wish this was a slightly stronger connection. If I had gotten one of these in there, I'd feel much better about this. I don't think the biggest pieces of heat shrink I've got will fit around. It's just barely too small. Well, it's close. Yeah, let's do this. Put one more piece on. Not super pretty, but it wouldn't be mine if it was. And it works. Might not be bright enough to really pick up here though. I kind of see it there. So now if the model is displayed normally, like this, the top hatch pretty much covers everything there. And if you wanted to display it upside down for shooting it for photography, loop that through the top, put this over there, and now you're all set like that. Much better solution, much more elegant. One thing I should probably do is put a very thin sheet of styrene, if not paper, right under here to help block the fact that you can see through there. Alright, so the electronics are running as intended. One thing I'll note really quickly is that between the last cut and this one, the canopy got a lot darker, and I also put a lot of other dark gray tones around the body. Previously it was light, I thought it was, but when I checked my reference, it's a really dark gray. So I took this Prismacolor, just went around all the edges really carefully, and it really adds a lot of character and definitely a sinister edge to it that it didn't have before. And similarly, marking up several panels all around the body also ends it just that little extra bit of credibility, I think. So the wiring is holding up pretty well. I certainly wouldn't recommend any kind of intentionally messing with it or anything, but it's definitely stable if it's just going to be sitting around like this on display. Additionally, what I've just done is, this was the first hole I carved into this piece of wood for this stand, and it didn't work out for me. So I just put a couple magnets in there, and then I drilled a second hole as well. I used to hold all the pieces onto the body simply by attaching them to any magnet that was available. So if it's plugged in at the bottom, obviously I can't have this down there, so I just store that up there. But now I've got those spots right on the base to hold them, whichever one is needed. And lastly, what I was going to do when last we left was I wanted to get a piece of styrene to put on the back of this so you couldn't see through the model here. So I got a few different markers, a black Sharpie, silver, and then 3 different Prismacolors, and I simply held this up to each one. The black was definitely too black. The silver is a great match, if not perfect, but I was feeling like it should be something darker, and this is definitely the winner right there. This one was a little too light, and then this one I didn't want it to be brighter than the piece itself. So I simply darkened up these 2 patches. It's just a matter of cutting these out and gluing to the back, and this is done. It can be prepared for eBay sale. So you guys are the first ones to know that right now. I haven't set a price in mind yet, but I certainly will be soon. There's a few other kits going up. The Star Destroyer, probably the Galileo. Definitely the wall-mounted Space Odyssey space pod. That will be going up. That's all packed up and ready to go now, actually. But I should unpack it and take a last look to make sure that everything is good. So I'm hoping that these kits will go to a good owner. And that they can be enjoyed for the rest of their lives. A little too much on that one. I'll have to. Always best to stop short. I'm of the measure once, cut many times school of philosophy, which doesn't always work out, but Sometimes it has its nice coincidences. Perfect. Literally paper thin. So I'm going to set that a while. I'm going to color out another one of these. And that is pretty much it. So I'll get a closing shot of this in a minute. So here we are, parts in place. The dark stripe looks really nice against that dark interior there. This pops off nice and easy for access, whether from the top or the bottom, just as designed. When sitting on the stand, that gets to go down there. We'll pull the plug out there. So there we are, all set with the plug. And on display. So a nice little bit of surgery on that. Definitely a lot of fun, not too tough at all. Definitely lucky in the way that the actual model kit works out, that this was actually possible at all. Because any other given kit, this may not have been an easy fix. This just happens to be really ideal. And there aren't too many models like that. Definitely a fun kit to build. I'm looking forward to making one or two more of these someday. And those, I'll do it with real serious magnets and make the whole thing completely take apartable. That's been it for, I think, the second surgery episode now. Maybe the third. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See ya.